Can you hear us online?
Yes.
Great. Paul, do you want to kick us off? Do you want me to lead it from the room?
Oh, no, I assume you were going to do everything, but let me just say this is our January 2026 meeting of the Parks, Waterfront and Cultural Committee. And let me throw it over to our chair.
Great. Thank you, Paul. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you enjoyed a very festive and relaxing holiday season and New Year, and best wishes for a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2026. Paul said this is our first meeting of the WPC in the new year. And we have a couple of topics and then just an update regarding the New York City Parks Department and some transition at the commissioner level. So before we address that, why don't we turn it over to Rosa and team to talk about the Gotham Park updates.
Oh. Hello, everybody. So I know most of you only just met that gentleman over there in the hallway. So we are here to present for Gotham Park. My name is Rosa Chang. I am the co-founder president.
My name is Orville Minot. I'm the Environmental Engagement Coordinator for Gotham Park.
I'm Julie Young, and I just joined the team of Communications and Outreach Coordinator.
I'm Ariel Wilson, and I coordinate all the events and programs on site.
Awesome, thank you. So we'll get started. Next slide, please.
There we go.
So last year was a very exciting year for us, and I think the single biggest thing was that we now have 4 acres open underneath the Brooklyn Bridge, which is enormously exciting. We also became the official plaza partner with the Department of Transportation last year as well. We have accumulated through a lot of relentless hard work, $56 million in city, state, and federal construction funding for the project. And I just want to be clear that this is all construction funding. So that means that it all goes into the Department of Transportation's wallet. It's designated for use for construction at Gotham Park. We do not see a penny of it. And then very, very recently, actually, we were in the New York Times. So Michael Kimmelman, the chief architecture critic, included our project, which we were totally surprised by and so excited, as one of the 17 things that he proposed that Mayor Mamdani look at to improve New York City. And we got over 20,000 votes for Love It. So we were really, really excited about that. And if you voted, thank you. So let's see, let's go to the event.
Yeah. I think one of our moments of like pride this year was really getting the big banks open on June 5th. That's one of the larger sections of the park. Rosa, am I correct in saying it's this
Reddish, yes.
this orangey red section right here? Yeah. I mean, as you can see, it takes up such a large portion of what we have to activate. So it was just amazing to get. We can go to the next slide. Here are more highlights of major events that we had. It was our first year running Lunar New Year, which was a 3-day market in partnership with Welcome to Chinatown. Over 8,000 people came across the 3 days, and on 2 of the days it was snowing. So it was pretty successful, but we did learn a lesson from this, and we're going to rethink how that looks in 2026 Lunar New Year. Our annual event, our community block party, it was huge this year. We had Bobo Tool there, and over 5,000 people came in just one day. It's crazy. Rose State Day is June 21st every year. We launched the longest table, which is like the 600-person community potluck this year, and it went off pretty successfully. We'll be running it again this year, along with other new events like Students for Sustainability, to get youth engaged in climate justice. And yeah, we'll bring back our block party on June 21st. Yeah. On a daily basis, we have our regular programs like Zumba, yoga, arts and crafts, qigong, pickleball. And those happen weekly or daily. No, weekly. They happen once a week, and these are our continuous touch points with our community. So we want to hear from you guys how we can further develop these regular touch
And as you
points.
see, we started in February of last year, working with Maker High School, which is in the Murray Bertram campus. And they have a hydroponic farm, so they have been growing stuff and we have been collecting it and giving it out to the public. Since February of last year to date, we have given out over 2,000 pounds of locally grown produce for free to members of our community. And that is what you see the seniors and one of our members are here doing. We have also developed a youth ambassador program so that we can hear the voice of our young people that utilize the park. And it's called our youth ambassadors. We currently have 4 young people that went to a training that was held from October through December. And then they were brought into it to show appreciation. And then we have a second phase of the training that will be started in March and running through May. And we're looking to recruit an additional 6 young people so we can have a core group of 10 teens that will be working with us throughout the year to help to activate the spot. Next slide. We also hired ACE, which is an organization that helps to clean up public spaces. So we now have an employee that's here 5 days a week that's providing some of the ground maintenance and upkeep for us. We are a small organization. Corporate volunteers and regular volunteers are the lifeblood of Pleasant Park. A lot of what we were able to accomplish over the past year and a half since I've been on the team involve our corporate volunteers. Stewardship Saturday, I am imploring everyone here in this room, whether you sit on the board or not, you should come out at least one Saturday. We are going to be starting back on March 14th, and we will be open every Saturday. March 14th, just come out from 10 to 1, right? You come help to do a little sprucing up of the area and then do some yoga or something else. You know what I'm saying? But please, I'm looking for you guys to come out. So as I mentioned, we started our youth program, youth development leadership program in the fall called our Youth Ambassadors. And this past summer, we also worked with 4 youth through the Summer Youth Employment Program, which we are also looking to grow and expand. And 2 months ago, or last month?
Yeah.
I couldn't say this. Let me introduce you to the latest member of our staff.
Okay.
So we have a really wonderful lineup of events for 2026, starting with our Lunar New Year on February 28th. And Earth Day, we have the popular annual community party that we do every first Saturday of each year in May. And a really popular event, Go Skate Day, which is what Gotham Park's all about, and reviving the Brooklyn banks. And over 3,000 attendees came last year, and we hope to double that. And then some upcoming fall events that we have is the Mid-Autumn Festival and the Longest Table that we did from last fall, hoping to increase the community involvement and attendance for that as well. And we have much more programming events. Park.
We can pop in just to say that right here are our like draft ideas and what we saw some success in last year. But really, I think the purpose of us talking right now is to figure out from you guys if there's anything like you're like, why didn't I see that last year? I want more of this, just so I could start developing. But also, I'm not trying to put you all on the spot. You're not presenting. Please reach out to Julie. Those ideas, yeah.
Yeah, and as Orville mentioned, get involved. We have Stewardship Saturday starting March 14th. Ways the community can help is by volunteering with Gotham Park. You simply sign up for our newsletter to keep up to date with our ongoing events and any news and how you can help. Attend one of our events. Follow our social media if you're on Instagram, Facebook. And please help spread the word.
And if I could just say one more thing before we go. our youth ambassador program is a really, really dynamic program that we also provide a stipend to the participants. So if you have any young person that's looking to do something constructive while also earning a little stipend for themselves, please check it out on the website, and the application will be up there just now for you guys to fill out and self-submit. So thank you.
Info@falconpark.org for more information.
With that, if you guys have any feedback you'd like to share with us right now, we appreciate it.
So sorry, are we done with the presentation? Is there more?
Yeah, the last thing I want to say is just, we do really want your feedback. Like if you have ideas of events and things that you haven't seen there. I mean, we've recently grown in size and we are growing in teams. So let us know your ideas. I mean, this is a space for all of us. It exists for us because of us. So if you want to go and, I don't know, do flower arranging, or you want to, do any things that we haven't thought about, let us know. Or if you want to see more of something that, you really enjoy on site, let us know. We are here right now for your input.
Yes, are there any plans to put in, equipment, exercise equipment, such as, let's say, pull-up bars or parallel bars or?
You are talking about the capital project, which is going to be, we are going to do a whole separate presentation stream in partnership with the Department of Transportation, because they hold all of that money. So we can't actually speak to exactly what is going to go in there, because we're going to come back to everybody often and say, what do you want to see in there? So that would be the time when you say, I want to see exercise equipment, or I want to see a playground, or I want to see a dog run, or anything that's like physically changing the actual space. Then we need DOT in the room, because frankly, they're the ones holding the wallet,
Okay,
even though we think we earned it.
okay, and back to your question,
Yeah.
I would like to see like a town fair, a fair, something similar to a fair. For example, we have, a partner, I'm sorry, we have street closures, we have concessionaires, like street festivals.
Yeah.
But they're constrained in that they have to close up and then they have to
Yeah.
relocate. But
Yeah.
if you have the space,
Yes.
I would love to see, like, maybe a small merry-go, they could bring some of the equipment that makes it justified
Oh,
for
you
them
mean
to
like
stay.
The San Gennaro
Yes.
kind of fair.
Yes, yes, so, and especially something
Oh.
besides just food. Food is great, we all
Yeah,
need it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it needs to be more than just food to attract people. There's so many
Right.
vendors out there, but if you can have like an attraction, I'm just thinking of like it's just a slide when they're like a.
Yeah.
And they can slide down.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
since you have space that doesn't have to be open to traffic within 12 hours, then it could
Yeah.
justify a vendor to set up, like on a burlap sack. I always remember like
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
some of those events, and that would be great for
Oh, that's a totally.
that would be great for.
Like the
Yeah.
Westchester County Fair.
Yes, in a much smaller scale. Yes, exactly.
Can I say two things? Just to follow up, Rosa said the fitness thing, we do run like a fitness wellness class right now where we bring out all the dumbbells and yoga mats and have a fitness instructor out there. Julie will share with you the times and dates, and our newsletter. And then,
So
What did
sign
you
up
say?
for our newsletter.
oh, the fair. Have you been to our community block party?
Passing by, only passing by, but you don't have the.
Totally not what you're thinking,
Yeah,
but
yes.
I would love if you came this year and then like,
Okay.
it was like, okay, but this can be expanded like that, like, or I already like where you're going with it. The most
Yeah.
similar thing I can think is that, and I don't know.
And it'll be a fundraiser too, because I'm
Yeah.
sure
Right.
the vendors.
It will cost money, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool,
Yeah.
okay.
Two local organizations come to mind as possible participants in any programming. One
Yeah.
would be the South Street Seaport Museum
Yeah.
that I have seen there.
Yeah.
The other might be New Amsterdam Market.
We spoke with Robert probably close to 4 years ago now, and that was a while ago. And actually, we have a link.
I used to work for New
Okay.
Yeah.
He was here about a year ago talking about possibly putting up a one-day market in this building.
So he is, when I last spoke to him, he was interested in not doing a regular market, but doing maybe he'll do like 1 to 3 special events over the course of a year. And like we have always envisioned that, especially along the Frankfurt side, which is very dark because it's got the overpass directly above, but it's also rain covered because of those exact same overpasses. And so we've always considered, well, since there's rain protection here, does it make sense to do a rotating market? That could theoretically be, themed for different days. So, one day you would have food a week, and then another day you could have, like arts and crafts, or you could have books, or you could have whatever. So that's an idea that we've had that we'd like to pursue, but it takes a while to think through all of it and set it up. And so we're in the very early stages of thinking that through now. But if you guys have thoughts, let us know.
Yep. Any other questions in the room
Oh,
before we go
yeah.
online?
I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah. Dream
Way
big,
out the-
go for
Way
it.
out the box.
Yeah.
Like the Tribeca has, a taste of Tribeca,
Yes.
something like that. And I'm thinking in that area,
Yeah.
like a elegant evening or something where we could get some tables and get dressed up and.
Oh, do you mean
Be
something
like
like Dinner on
fancy.
Dwayne? Dinner on Dwayne is a fancy version. of
Okay.
Taste of
I've
Texas.
never been, but anyway,
Yeah.
I get the gist.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking
Yeah,
that maybe, as a fundraiser and
Yeah.
a chance to make it like
yeah,
top level, another, not top
Yeah, yeah,
level, another
yeah.
level
yeah, yeah,
and a different
Yeah.
experience.
yeah. We would love that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, we would love that.
Well, I'm a huge fan, who can't applaud this effort, it's incredible. I'm somewhat selfishly interested, because of course I follow these pedestrian plazas, including one I'm a little bit more involved in than not. First of all, are you guys employed? Are you staff that?
Oh, yes, we got.
They do not work for free. They are not volunteers.
So
They're
you
getting paid.
That's all money that you guys have raised to do this, which
Yes,
is
we-
really
We
extraordinary.
privately fundraise for our entire team.
I would love to just get, and I think I'm probably not alone, just get a better understanding of where we're at in terms of that floor of the plan. If you can just pull that plan up, Rosa, just to go over that one more time, because I never fully understand where we are in the process. Oh, thanks, Dinesh. Like of the 56 million in capital, how
Yeah.
much has been spent?
0.
Zero. So the redoing of the banks was not part of
That was
the,
part of the original construction contract that the DOT held with the contractor.
that had nothing to do with you guys.
I mean, we pushed for it. They were originally not going to do that work.
It's not part of the 56 million.
That
No, it
was
is not
not
part of the
part.
56
So
million.
tell us again what we're getting for the 56 million and where it's going, and just on that plan.
Right, so
maybe
that one.
There's a plan, that's it, yeah, this would.
Sure.
And,
Okay.
and it'll help people know what all these wonderful things are, the forest and the Rose Park and all those.
So what is currently open is that sort of green, thumb. That opened in 2023. Yes.
The small banks.
Then that yellow section opened in 2024.
That's the small banks.
No. Here, let me use your thumb right there. No. Yes. And then, I know, it's just the extra like 6 inches, right? And then the next one I can reach is the red section, and
Yep.
that is what opened last year. What we are hoping is going to open this year is this orangey bit here and there.
Which are, is that where like the old game tables
The
were?
Forest and Rose Park is where those.
Okay, the Forest and Rose Park, but
Okay.
there's nothing there now.
So the Rose,
Benches
so
and stuff.
Rose Park is still currently fenced off, and that's where the DOT are still staging, and they have their vehicles for the remainder of the work that they're taking on. And then the biodiversity forest that we're hoping for there, they haven't quite agreed to yet, and so we're working on that. And then all of the rest of it, they haven't agreed to yet. And so we need all of you to advocate loudly and often if you would like more space, because our goal is to get the full 9 acres.
I think it would be really great, Rosie, if
Yeah.
you could just add to your incredible amount of work. If at some point you really dive into what those areas look like, because I think people could get really excited about whatever the water park really means.
Yes.
The Pearl
Swimming pool.
Park, I've never heard of.
Yes.
The Arches we've heard of, certainly the Rose Park, because, you know, it's the first time hearing of some of those names I know I should know. And I think it's really exciting. Well, you know, because
I
we
know.
rarely get to follow
Yeah,
it because we're
yeah.
always reading stuff in the New York Times of how fantastic it is. But you know, the future is
Yeah.
huge here. And
Yes.
so I think it would be helpful, I know, in the next presentation to give us, you know, what those things are
Right.
gonna look like.
Right.
So for right now, the 56 million is for
Yeah.
earmarked
That
for what?
actually-
Where is that gonna go?
Actually, for the areas that are currently open, right? So that is basically between Pearl Street and Park Row. And it's these 2 blocks.
And what
And
will
to
they
do-
do?
Yeah.
And that is going to be the discussion that we have with CB1, with CB3, with all of the residential complexes that are around us. We are going to go on a community stakeholder roadshow in partnership with the Department of Transportation and say, what would you like to see in this new legacy public space? And that is what the $56 million.
But didn't they give the money to some budget that you had some schematic plan for? That's what I'm asking. Like,
No,
they didn't
we-
just give money.
We know
where
what
to-
makes sense in certain areas, like, oh, this area gets sun, plants would flourish here. This area gets not a speck of sun, plants will die here. This area is wide enough to actually activate and have like active recreation space. And this other area is not, it's sort of like quirky, and that's gonna be really challenging to do there.
But how did you come up with that number then?
Yeah.
With what number?
With 56 million, like, why did they give you 56 million based
Well,
on?
it was city, state, and federal, and that's all we've been able to get for now. I am out there trying to get 200 million.
But I mean, to support
For the capital work for this project, for the full 9.
But it wasn't project specific, it was park specific.
Yes. So it's not like saying, we're gonna have a dog run here, we're gonna have a basketball court here, we're gonna have 19 pickleball courts here, and we're gonna have like a playground there. No, there was none of that specificity in there. We know this is the amount of square footage that we have. We know this is what the money's going towards, and we're going to have to work together as a community on what it is that we can see here. The way DOT works is they do not even start on the community engagement unless they know that the project has money allocated to it, and specifically enough money allocated to it to finish the project, because they're not gonna activate a whole team. This is what I've learned, to start this process unless they know they can finish this process. So now that the money is secure, the funding is secure for the project, now we are able to go out and start doing this work.
So just give me 1 minute then, because I'm fascinated by these terms. Just
Yeah.
tell us, just walk us through what the forest is, what the Rose Park is, or what you're envisioning, like, will those names have something to do?
So we were specifically trying to be very vague. So like, for instance, and Rose Park is named Rose Park because that's Rose Street. Just like Pearl Park is named Pearl because it's Pearl Street. Same thing with
Okay.
water. I mean, we were basically not trying to presuppose anything that the site doesn't already naturally indicate, again, sun versus shade, as, you know, a marker for what might make sense there, except the forest.
Exactly.
And the reason why we say that for the forest, which is the biodiversity forest, which is that ring over there, I've always imagined it as a things with wings place. And by that, I mean, because it's literally surrounded by a Brooklyn Bridge turn off, like, it's an off ramp.
Mm.
So you can't get there. If you have legs, you will get run over. So we think of it as a very safe place to have a oasis for things with wings, because people aren't gonna be going there. Only things with wings will. So it's a safe pollinator oasis, and it's not for us, it's for other things.
But like, you had designers working on this, as I recall, architects, landscape
So
architects.
Snow Heather was super kind in giving us, you know, time. But it was more just an indicator of, we can have green here, or imagine what it might be like if this, you know, was open. But it wasn't like this is exactly what we're going to do.
No, of course
Or
not.
like, we're gonna have
But-
paths here and slices of vegetation there.
Just to summarize my point I'm trying to make is
Yeah.
it's extremely exciting. It's extremely valuable. No one, what more could we say? It's like a brava beyond belief to all the work. It's extraordinary.
Mhm.
But in your ask, which is a
Yeah.
big one going forward for this money to stay and get used.
Yeah.
In this new administration, one,
Yeah.
and two, to then get a lot more money you're gonna need. The more you can provide as a visual understanding for the public at large of what these visions are, understood as visions, just
Yes.
like every
Yes.
one of these other parts, like the High Line,
Yeah, yeah.
Little Island, whatever. We have to see it. And so I would just say at some future, you could introduce it as, well, it's not exactly this, but this is an idea and we're coming to the community to talk about it. It would be, to me, that would be extremely valuable.
So I'm gonna tell you the two separate things that I was told. One by Robbie Hammond, who is a co-founder of Friends of the High Line, and one by Dan. And they are both amazing people, and they've been really excellent at being generous to advise us on things. And so one of them told me, the thing that made the High Line possible was that I did not share a single image. All I did was show existing conditions so that people could start to overlay their own dreams on the space. Because if I showed them a rendering of what was possible, then immediately they'd be like, why is there a red bench there? Or why did you put this there and why did you put that there? And they would start nitpicking at the details without sort of like, embracing that they have imagination and say into what this becomes. Then I was told the exact opposite thing, which was that a lot of times people just don't have, like, they don't want to react to a blank slate or nothing. They want to react to an image. And so you have to give them that initial image for them to respond to. But I have also seen in the community board meetings that I'm a part of, frankly, that you're sort of damned if you do and damned if you don't. And by that, I mean that if you show an image, people say like, why did you design this without any of our input? Or if you just say blank slate, like what you're saying right now, people will say, but how do you expect us to respond when you haven't given us anything to respond to? So right now we are here saying, we are going to be embarking on this process where it's a conversation and it's a back and forth with the Department of Transportation to understand what it is you prioritize, like a fair or like a permanent market, or like I want it all green and trees, or I don't want a speck of trees, or whatever it is. That's what's going to sort of like be teased out during this community stakeholder process. And whatever renderings come out of it are not going to be just like, this is it. It's a conversation starting point, and then it's going to be an evolution of that conversation.
I gotta push my point though, and I can think you can appreciate it, the design, the architect, whatever, all these folks.
Yeah.
You had the idea of having imagery and having professionals work with you, and that was a damn good idea for a reason, which was to start to flesh out ideas.
Yeah.
And I think sharing those ideas, albeit as schematically as you feel
Yeah.
is suitable, so that people can just understand, because looking at that beautiful plan that's a sort of colorful graphic doesn't really let people get in there and say, well, what is Pro Park? Where's Water Park?
Right.
Where are the boundaries? What are we really talking about? And I think that would be incredibly exciting as workshops
I
and
agree.
things. So I just hope that that's a next step.
It
you
is
know,
the next step.
Yeah, because it's incredibly exciting. Anyway, thank you.
But we also have to think of that privately because, well, there's a whole thing. Anyways, yes.
Anyway, thank
We have
you.
a question online, Wendy?
Wendy.
Wendy, I don't know if you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you so much, Rosa and team. Beautiful. It's great. I definitely look forward to the spring. I wanted to just commend you for hiring ACE. I've just thought they are a top-notch organization, and that seems like a winning part. So hats off to you guys. You just keep coming up with synergies with organizations that are good for multi-layers in our neighborhood. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Wendy. It's really appreciated. And I have to say that we were introduced to ACE by Tori from Bogardus, and she could not say enough good things about them. And I have to say that every single word was earned because we are so excited about Oscar. Please go and introduce yourselves and say hi when you see him on site. He is amazing. He takes such good care of the site for us. And frankly, Orvel, before Oscar, was taking amazing care of the site. And then I have to also say thank you to all of our volunteers who also take really great care of the site, because people don't understand, Parks Department actually has zero involvement in our project. DOT does not do any site maintenance. We, Gotham Park, our tiny, tiny team, are there every single day, picking up the trash, changing the bags, buying the garbage bins, sweeping the leaves. Every single possible part of the maintenance of this site that has happened since that very first acre opened in 2023 has been our team. And with the exception of the graffiti removal, which is the bridges division of DOT, we're not allowed to touch the bridge surface. So
Yeah,
it's,
that's
we're
really
so
great.
excited to have Oscar on board. Honestly, it's been enormous for us, and thank you for noticing. We really appreciate it.
Great. We have
Maybe
another
we
question.
can put up pictures of who you all are in the park so that people know, so that I think you're the friendliest group of park people in the whole city. And I think if you put pictures of all of us up, and just even at the end of the presentation, the fact that you had the adorable 3 photos at the end of the presentation, not what people do. And I love it. I love signs. I love pictures. You all know that. So more of that, please. And one more question is bathrooms. Is that in the works? Thank you.
Thank you. So yes, bathrooms, our favorite topic. We have been trying for about 3 years now to get bathrooms on site. And any help that you all are able to provide to help urge DOT to let us put the bathrooms on site, we would love to do. We have this amazing, I don't know if you guys are all familiar with Governor's Island. They have these awesome trailer bathrooms that they've had for over a decade now. They work amazing. They're like actual bathroom fixtures, and they have, air conditioning inside the units. It's like, it's incredible. And they are the best bathrooms. And so they became highly recommended to us. They've obviously been used and have, worn the test of time, or stood the test of time, whatever that saying is. Anyways, so they're durable. And so we've been talking to them now for like 3 years. They're made in the US. Some of the units are in stock and they can custom build them. They cost less than $100,000 each. Senator Kavanaugh has been amazing and has allocated funding for the bathrooms, which we're really excited about. But we need DOT's permission to be able to do them. We have said that we are committed to staffing it for every single hour that it is open, because we also think that we're going to get the sufficient foot traffic to be able to utilize these bathrooms. When you think about, if you're crossing the Brooklyn Bridge, we're talking about a daily average of like over 30,000 people that cross that bridge. Even if just 20,000 come down and use the bathroom, how about the 10,000 students at Pace? So let's say 2,000 of them want to go into Chinatown and need to use a bathroom, right?
What is the DOT's reluctance? Is it the water hookup? Is it the sewage that would need to be collected?
So we tried that route, and we have essentially now sort of let go of that and said, we'll actually pay to have it serviced every single day. So instead of doing the hard plumbing connection, if that would be helpful for them to give us permission to do it. So that is our goal right now, to just get the bathrooms in. But we just haven't been able to get permission yet. So we would love help to get that to happen.
Great. We have another question online, Paul.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to find out about the arches and what the status is of, the arches were going to play a major part of this park. And of course, they recently spent a lot of time and money improving, some of that space. And I think, a library and, restaurant and other ideas certainly have surfaced. I assume that the arches are under the jurisdiction of DOT, but that's neither here nor there. is there any progress to report on the arches? And are they still a part of what this park will eventually be?
I think what this park will eventually be is going to be what we advocate for it to be. So I'm going to say that if you would like to see anything inside the Brooklyn Bridge, then please advocate your heart out to make that happen. Every single bit of Gotham Park that is open has been because we have worked for it and asked for it and worked for it. So that's what we need to continue doing for any aspect of it that you would like to see come to fruition. Obviously, it's a dream of mine. I do not control the Brooklyn Bridge. That would be the Bridges Division of the Department of Transportation. So if anybody knows Mamdani, he wants to put a little thought in his brain. I don't know. Look, we all know in our community, because we sit in every single one of these meetings, that we do not have a library south of Murray Street. Like, that is a shame, especially for a community that is growing, especially in its youth population. That is just wrong, flat out wrong. And one of the reasons why, DOT thankfully have opened this space for us is because they recognize that we don't have access to much public open space in our community as well. So we just need to be pushing for the things that we think would be beneficial to our community. And so that's what I'm going to suggest that every single one of us in the room and online do. And so, Paul, if you want a library, if you want a restaurant, if you want whatever it is you want, then I'm gonna ask you to advocate for it.
But you imagine
Okay.
that come out of the community roadshow that you're potentially.
Yes, but if you feel inclined to just send an email whenever, you can do that too. Yes.
Okay, sorry, we have another question online I'd like to get to. April?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, hi.
Hey.
Hi. I have really just a couple of comments rather than questions. First, just want to echo everything that Alice said, that, what you guys have accomplished is so impressive, and just huge kudos to you and your team. From City Hall Park Conservancy, we've watched what you guys have done over the last few years, and it's really amazing and very inspiring. So congrats.
Thank you.
The other, so I guess two things. My first is that, we would love to collaborate with you guys on some events. We also have an Earth Day event, I think, for that same Saturday. It would be sort of great to do some cross marketing to get people to go, west to east, maybe, walk from City Hall, down towards you guys, and just really kind of emphasize those connections between our two spaces.
Yeah.
And sort of along those lines, I think some of you may have met our community fellow, Jonathan Sterling, who's in the room there with you. And we, as a conservancy, were awarded through the fund for the City of New York, Jonathan, to work with us for 6 months. He's going to be coming back to the committee in April, I believe, to do his final report on the Northeast Plaza of the park. And it's really sort of delving into the traffic patterns, the pedestrian patterns, wayfinding, and of course the issue with the food vendors. And so I think that there's a lot of sort of overlap, although it's at the edge of your new space, there is a lot of overlap between how those two can eventually connect, and what's happening on the plaza by Brooklyn Bridge and how people get down to your area. So we'd love to continue conversations on that.
Absolutely. I literally just sent you an email, and Ariel's on it, so we can connect on Earth Day programming. If anybody has any programming questions, so if you want Ariel specifically for programming and events, that's ariel@gothampark.org. If you want to just reach us generally, it's info@gothampark.org. And we should have you come in and we will talk together. So let's try to aim for something next week.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
I would like to hear a little bit about an area that seems really close to your heart, all of our hearts, that I know you're very eager to develop, which is the edge of the water. I guess you're calling it the water park, right?
Yeah.
Where is that at? How can we be more proactive in the coming months now that we're looking at the 5IC Port plan, actually next month here
Yeah.
at the board?
Yeah.
Any thoughts on, being a little more effective?
Yes.
in that
So-
particular quadrant? or
So, I
section?
mean, it's interesting because we had thought in the beginning that those two blocks could actually be joined. And then when we realized that BMCR, which is the Brooklyn Bridge Montgomery Coastal Resiliency Plan, I don't know if everybody's aware of that, but what that ended up doing was actually putting a 10-foot tall concrete retaining wall that slices between those two sections. And we pointed out that maybe having a 10-foot tall concrete wall between what is hopefully going to be New York's most awesomest legacy park space, brand new, and our next door neighbors at NYCHA, at Alfred E. Smith houses, was very, very poor planning. And MOCEJ made a really, really good point, which is, Rosa, this has been in the plans for 15 years now. You guys just showed up like last year. So good point. And so then we thought, well, what are we going to do with this ugly concrete wall? And then we thought, well, you know what? We do not, this is the only district in all of Manhattan that does not have a public swimming pool. And so then we thought, well, an above ground pool is less expensive than an in-ground pool. So maybe we have a 10-foot tall above ground pool that obscures a 10-foot tall concrete wall. And then we provide a public amenity and benefit, especially frankly for the thousands of kids that literally live across the street from the East River and don't have a place to learn to swim. So we had originally thought that maybe we could collaborate on this with Plus Pool, because there was the potential that they were going to be right there off of Pier 17 and they would need like a landing pad, in Manhattan. They have since moved further north, I think, as most people know. And so we are back to, we would really love to have an above ground swimming pool, and it conveniently, we just called it water park. So that makes a lot of sense. And then it would be directly across the street from one of our naturally occurring sand beaches, which we would love to connect to the Get Down on, which I don't know when the Get Down is going to be installed, but that would be our goal. So again,
Is it
whatever.
incorporated at all at this point? I mean, I don't ever see it in the plan, so where,
That is the whole part, which, we sort of internally call stage 3, which DOT has not ever said that they are planning to give us yet, but which we are advocating for. So again, it's one of those things that it's like, we think it's an inevitability. Why would you put all this time and effort and money into building half of this when you could connect right to the water and all of these, what will eventually be amazing
so that
projects.
section is not yet been recognized by DOT?
No.
Or MOCEJ or EDC?
I have been told by certain people who I don't want to get in trouble that they are totally fine with the swimming pool concept. The question is just getting all of the approvals to make it happen from the different agencies. There's no objection to it in concept. To execution is going to be, something that we need to do, but frankly, our attention, so we're going back to Gotham Park is a really, really small team. So it's hard for us to keep all of these pieces moving at the same time with the same momentum. So we do have to prioritize what we're going to fight for first. And so water park, especially given that it has been under BMCR, we're letting that become what it is for now. And then while we stabilize the currently open 4 acres, then we will be turning our attention to that and other things.
So advocacy, when they come, the team for the LMCR come to talk about 5IC Port plans, that isn't really your area though.
Not yet, no.
Well, you're saying it's going north. I've always had a little trouble with understanding that edge and how we can advocate it, or is it not in our, territory?
Yeah.
So I guess I would just recommend that when you come, come on that Monday, the February 26th, I think it is, next month, that they're at 30% design. So it's good time to really anchor in whatever ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would just, anyway, I would just ask that you come.
Okay, yes.
Where would this, for this pool that's, I know it's just, everything's just.
Directly adjacent to NYCHA, just south of the Robert Wagner, whatever
Could pull
the
up the
avenue
plan and if you
thing
see it.
is, yes.
They call it triangle or fork.
And it's like a little teardrop and it's blue. And it's like, once you're in that space, it's actually gorgeous.
Wait,
and
is
views the
it
bridge.
where it's a triangle? Is that?
No,
what it
right
is?
there.
See,
Let me
look
see
at
if
that.
I
See
can-
Porter Park.
You can see.
No, it's not. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's
Okay.
across the.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I mean-
It's where the vehicles are parked
Ah,
inside that
okay.
lot, yes.
And then, and I know it's just conceptual, every discussion, but it would be
Yeah.
enclosed, right? Or you think of outdoor?
Oh, no, I'm
It would
thinking
have to
outdoor.
be.
But then if you have outdoor, then you can't use it for like a party. Look, I'm not, I don't know
Right,
costs, so
right.
I'm only just asking.
And we don't know what's happening with the highway there. It's coming
Yeah,
down,
yes,
right?
I think, I gotta imagine it's
Up
an
and down, yeah.
inevitability. if
What's
we
the
are driving.
purple area to the south?
That's the single largest
That's the
open
roadway.
space that we could imagine directly underneath
That's
the
the
bridge.
roadway.
So just so you know, this section here.
Just in what is being envisioned.
This blue part, that's the actual anchorage, right?
Yep.
Everything that's past
That's that
that
open
towards
area.
the water is open
Open.
and clear, with the exception of the structures
Right.
that connect all of these ramps together, to the bridge, to the FDR, to the street. So that's actually the single widest significant open space that's possible here. That was actually the section that I first saw. Paul called it the dugout.
Right.
The what?
The dugout. That's what Paul, right, Paul? I don't know if you were muted or not, but he calls it the dugout. And so, it's, I
Yes.
mean,
What do you envision there, if anything, yeah? I mean, what have been discussed as ideas for there?
when I first saw it, my first thought was like Portobello Market in London, or, a place for kids to throw a ball and not hit a human, or a car, a place for kids to safely learn how to ride a bicycle. Although the big banks can satisfy that now. Because it's open space and it's a large block of it, we just don't have opportunities like that in our neighborhood. This is like insane to
It's
have.
so
this
true, and I just think
opportunity.
the city could be investing billions of dollars in investing this entire corridor of land that they're adding on to the city of New York, south of that very point, and yet this never seems to get integrated in as an incredible artery that comes down into
It
this
is,
whole
I think
area.
it's an eventuality, like,
But it
I think
should
it's
be
inevitable.
Part
right?
of that
Yes.
thinking, at least
Yes.
now, so I
Because like, you know what, you don't end, to this point, like so BMCR comes all the way down here and then
Yeah.
hooks up and connects right into there.
Right.
And that's what separates Water Park from the other block. Then when you think about it, you're not gonna invest $50 million into this and then $7 billion into that. And I don't remember how much BMCR costs, but you're not gonna invest all of this along there and not connect to the iconic world famous Brooklyn Bridge by one block. That would literally be sheer stupidity and a waste of money. So this is inevitable as far as I'm concerned. I believe that we have smart people who are gonna say, guys, we can't not connect to the Brooklyn Bridge by one block. Let's just do it, because this makes sense. And also, we only have one Brooklyn Bridge in the entire planet.
I think it's great you're bringing it up. I think
It's
we
just-
really need
it's
to look at
logical
that.
in so many different ways.
Yeah, that's really, really important.
So,
Thanks.
I have a comment concerning Alice's point about not having like
Yeah.
a fleshed out plan
Yes.
and not knowing like what exactly is happening.
Yeah.
But you did explain earlier
Yes.
that you guys have already mapped out where certain things can happen.
yes, it makes
Versus-
logical sense.
Yeah, versus where certain things cannot happen. And I feel like
Yeah.
each one of these sections that you mark out,
Yeah.
you can actually expand and give like little explanations like, okay,
Yeah.
this is where like there's sunlight,
Yeah.
there's greenery.
Yeah.
This other section, there's no sunlight, there's
Yes.
no greenery, like,
Yes.
it's all concrete.
Yes.
I think that would be very helpful in.
And I think that's the part that we're gonna do in partnership with DOT when we ask people to start like really dreaming in a
Yes,
concrete way.
exactly.
And being respectful of our DOT partners, I don't want to start that conversation frankly without them. Again, they're the ones holding the wallet that pays for this stuff. So I think that they need to be part of that conversation. What we're here to do today is more sort of like programming, because we literally take care of every single spec that's actually open right now. So we want to know, how can we activate this in a really sort of beneficial way for our community today without waiting for the capital work to happen, which we all know takes a while. But absolutely, that's part of the discussion. But just since you asked, so that section gets loads of sunlight, the biodiversity forest, and Rose Park actually gets loads of sunlight because it's south facing, right? So that's awesome. Then this whole section called the Arches there, zero sunlight, not a single speck. And the reason why is because it's got all of the overpasses directly above. It's got two of them, just one right beside the other. So that's why we think that would be maybe a great market space, because it is long, it is relatively narrow, and it's dark. Then, the big banks, depending on where you are and what time of day, you get sunlight in parts of it and some parts you don't. And then the small bank section, you do actually get sunlight some parts of the day and some parts you don't. But the things that sort of scream like sight indicators, like sun or constant shade, I've just told you. So, but again, I didn't want to walk into a conversation and say, this is what you're going to get, or this is what we imagined for you. We really want it to be collaborative. So I'm not trying to be difficult and saying we don't want to give you something. I just want to say, like, I really actually want everybody's input. Like, it's like we're making a recipe together. Or, that stone soup story, right? We're all bringing ingredients, we're tossing it all in together, and we're going to make an awesome meal together as a community. By the way, come to our longest table. The next one is going to be awesome.
So the small banks and the big banks are done, or not?
They're open.
They're
So the
open,
4
right.
acres are
Those were
open.
already, yeah. And that's where the city paid quite a bit of money to do that, right? Or not?
I can't speak to what the city paid or didn't pay. We weren't really, asked to be part of that conversation.
But in the reopening of the big banks, that wasn't part of the conversation, is what they invested to do that. It was just.
No, that's totally separate. And also, the sidewalk that they built on Park Road, totally separate. The artwork that they put inside the mugging stair, which I can't call the mugging stair anymore, and the light they installed there,
Right.
and the artwork that they put on the asphalt,
Right.
all of that stuff
Has been
is stuff that they paid,
done,
the
right.
city paid for out of their own wallet, and that doesn't touch a single penny of the 56 million.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think it was really beneficial. Like, for instance, people didn't know that they felt safe walking down the stair, first of all. And, without a sidewalk, how do you walk from the Brooklyn Bridge to Chinatown without getting run over by the electric bikes in the bike lane, right? So all of these things have been like incredible progress for building a space. I mean, it's like every week I meet somebody who is like, oh, that sidewalk's amazing. Now I actually feel comfortable walking into Chinatown to go and get my groceries. Or somebody says, I feel comfortable walking to New York Presbyterian Hospital where I get my medical care.
It's fantastic. I mean, the city
Yeah.
really has come through on this tremendously.
have.
So small banks, big banks sort of done.
Yeah.
Albeit with efflorescence in the bricks. And then the forest, the Rose Park, the Arches, all of that is to come. That's where the 56 million is the sort of starter budget for that part of the project. Is that? I just want to make sure I got it this time.
Vaguely,
So-
yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean vaguely?
Well, no, I mean, I'm not gonna be telling you it's going to be this or that.
Oh, no, I
It's a
just-
conversation that
Right.
involves
But-
everybody. I don't mean to be circuitous.
No, but
I-
DOT is understood that that's what you're asking for in having given that.
But potentially couldn't some additional
Yes.
money still go into big
Like,
banks?
yes, I mean, like, I wouldn't say
Right. I
that the
see
big
what
banks
you're
or the
saying.
small banks are done. I mean, what they did was basically put bricks back where there used to be bricks. Where the trees were dead or dying, they
So they
removed
made
us
more
and
money
put
into
more
that.
bricks. They, you look at.
But they
a
haven't
lot of-
indicated any plan with what they're doing with that money yet.
Zero, they are not going to, again, they're not gonna say boo until they've had a discussion with us, with the community.
So a couple of quick
Thank
questions,
you.
if I might. comments, I guess. Am I mistaken, or did the city just execute a multi-million-dollar contract to look at bathrooms across the city? So-
$4 million, and I don't think that that's gonna get you many bathrooms.
It might be, but I don't know if that was,
Yeah.
you're probably thinking that might be your window to talk about it.
All we need, we actually have the money allocated, so all we need is actually the permission from the Department of Transportation to install the bathrooms.
Okay.
What about a resolution on that? Sorry. Yeah, anyway.
Do you guys wanna give us a resolution on that?
Support
We can
for.
certainly talk about it as a board, but before we wrap,
Yeah.
so how confident are you that 56 million is earmarked and will only be allocated toward?
I am extremely confident that like the vast bulk of that money is already in DOT's possession specific to this project. It has been allocated to Gotham Park and it cannot be reallocated somewhere else without a lot of effort.
Got it. Thank you.
And we will die on that hill. That's not happening.
I know we have Teresa on the line. I certainly don't
Yeah.
need to put her on the spot, but you mentioned Parks currently has no role whatsoever.
Zero. We have to-
Would it be helpful for
Yeah.
Parks to have a role? And if so, what would need to happen for that to
Yeah,
become?
that is a really interesting question. We would definitely appreciate from a purely financial perspective, because we are not a city park, we are a DOT plaza. That means we do not even get to benefit from free plants from the city as parks get to benefit from. We actually pay for every single plant that we have planted on site, of which we have planted many, as you saw on the slide. I think last year was over 800. We pay for those. We pay for the plant, we pay for the shipping, and then we, plant them and then take care of them and pay for that too. So yes, we'd love to. And also, I think Parks Department have experts in this field that would be incredibly helpful. They also have the hoard. They have so many resources that we are currently privately paying for. That would be awesome. Hi.
She's on
You
mute.
expecting a comment from Teresa? I just wanted to throw that out
Just
there. Maybe
saying.
we can.
Thank you. Yeah, wait, as much as I would like to steal her thunder, she has done amazingly on her own. And there has been no offer of support from us. And we've been asked about it, and I can take it back again, like we have in the past, and let you know what they say. We have a lot of changes in the agency, but not really that big, because maybe we need to ask that question again. So I'll ask again and let you know.
Okay, I
Therese?
might come back to you in a second to talk a little bit about the changes, but anyway.
And I just want to point out, Therese, that we are a very, very big friend of parks. I testify frequently at City Hall, City Council, to, fund our parks. I'm definitely part of that coalition of 1% for parks. And I have actually asked Mamdani when he was campaigning if he would be paying 1% for parks, and he said yes. And I think DID has a recording of that somewhere, Richard. So look for that. We need that. We need to put that on Instagram or something on repeat. So we would love to have parks involvement and support and help to do all and frankly your knowledge. So yeah, whatever you can do to make that happen, that would be
Consultant basis.
awesome.
Make a specific ask.
And then
No,
the
it's
ACE
just on
contract.
access.
I don't even know what I'm allowed to ask
Yeah.
for. Therese, what am I allowed to ask for?
I just take it back. You can ask for the moon, and I'll still ask for you and let you know how it goes, what kind of
A wish
rocket ship you have.
Give them a wish.
We'll think of everything. Does it come with money too? And staff time and the plans and
That's one of the point of clarification.
Okay, okay,
The ACE contract.
yes.
Is that month to month? Is it an annual?
No,
contract?
we've signed an annual contract. It costs about $80,000 a year.
And what's the scope of their work?
So Oscar, who's awesome, by the way, literally everybody should just say hi to Oscar because he's such an awesome human being. Oscar comes for 5 days a week. He comes from, let's see, Thursday through Monday. And he takes care of the site whenever there is a snowstorm. So we talked about Lunar New Year. So last year, that was Megan and I shoveling the snow when it snowed, shockingly, for Lunar New Year. And I hadn't shoveled in decades. And so they actually have a whole team. And so they come and they have like equipment and they salt and they shovel and they do all of that.
What's the site? in this
So,
case? What's their?
I mean, if you want me to get really technical, there is a site plan that we have signed in our contract, our plaza maintenance contract with the Department of Transportation that outlines which areas must be shoveled and salted for snow. So that people have safe passage through the space. We also put up signs that say, it's slippery when there's
How
snow
many
and ice.
acres are they responsible for?
Well, it depends. So like, they're not gonna shovel the whole thing. They just need to shovel pathways so that people can get back and forth. But in terms of site maintenance, picking up the litter, making sure that everything is in good order and clean, that is the entirety of the site that we have
Which
under
is how
contract.
many acres?
Which is 4 acres.
4 acres.
And Orville says Pearls Park Row.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned corporate volunteers. So
Yes.
again, what's the scope of that? Companies sponsoring their employees to come in and help with
Yes. So-
upkeep, maintenance?
Yes, they come and we give them a whole site tour and a history of Gotham Park, and then they put them to work, and they are super kind because they actually give us a donation to come to site, and we use that donation to pay for our plants, which I said that we have to pay for, to pay for the equipment that they utilize. Sometimes there's food involved for their team, and we have our staff on site. And so we walk them through all the things that are related to the care of the site. And then they do that work for us with our team, under their guidance. And they have a fun time doing team bonding stuff on our site. And we have the funding and the plants and the equipment to be able to do the work that we do. And we could not have I'll just be flat out honest. We didn't have that money. We could not have paid for those plants without them.
How are you getting the word out about that program?
We try to reach out to anybody that we know, but honestly, most of them have found us. So if you have corporate partners that you would like to tell about us, please do loudly and often.
Fred and Frederick at all about perhaps
You know,
doing something like that in the
Haven't actually, but that's a great idea. Yeah. So, yeah.
role of the ambassadors? Again, what's the scope of, what does an ambassador do? What group are you talking?
So Orville actually runs our entire youth ambassador program. So I'm gonna ask Orville to speak to
I'm
that.
sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Oh,
My question was, what's the scope of the role of an ambassador and what age group are you
Okay,
targeting?
so we're targeting high schoolers, 14 to 19. The scope of the ambassador is that they're gonna go through our 10 to 12 week, training program. First section is actually divided into 3 sections. The first component dealing with leadership and team building, and the second component dealing with understanding the history of Gotham Park and the surrounding neighborhood. And the third piece has to do with safety and judgment, which is us preparing the young people now for working in the park and planning activities for the general public. Looking for young people who are interested in actually being advocates and actually helping in their community. So they can advocate for things they would like to see for their peers in the community. And at the same time, being able to go back and speak to their peers about what the work is that we're doing at Gotham Park for the betterment of the community. So I want them to have a twofold role that they play. They are both coming out to represent the youth, but at the same time, they're taking the information back from the park to present to the youth of what the adults.
Got it. Thank you. Any other comments before we? Yep. Eric?
Yes. Has a security analysis been formed or evaluation?
I'm actually in the middle of getting pricing to do such a thing. Obviously, counterterrorism has been super helpful along this entire
Who are
route.
you getting to do it on this stuff?
Oh, no, we have some names of people that actually do counterterrorism or terrorism consulting services,
Wow.
security.
I wasn't even thinking of that. I wasn't thinking of that.
I am serious. Wait.
Because most parks
Yeah,
are locked at night.
yes.
And then since this is still open.
Yes,
and-
we are a porous perimeter open space, and as a DOT plaza, legally, we are not allowed to close any section of it at any point in
Even the
time.
arches, because that's a concern.
Yes, even the arches, they will not give us the keys. They are
No, no,
they
gates. I mean, you
open
put gates,
position.
because it's,
Yes, there are gates. We do not have those keys. Even though that space is under our management, we do not have those keys. We do not have the ability to lock them. We have asked for the ability to lock them at night. They have declined to give us that ability.
because there are some concealed area, many. concealed-
I agree with you. I understand. I am 100% on the same page with you. If you would like to help advocate for our ability to at least lock those gates during the nighttime hours, then that would be extremely appreciated.
Yeah, but then who would do that? That's the thing, the staff and the reverse side, like we
Are
have.
they allowed?
We,
If there was any terrorism threat, why would it be kept open at night?
And this is when I'm not really going to be able to respond with a logical answer because I do not understand the logic of it either.
It's so close to
No.
Police Plaza, and they're so with the ballads and all this other
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Why wouldn't they?
sorry, I agree with you 100%. We should have the ability to lock up certain areas, but we have not been given that ability and we have to defer to the Department of Transportation on that.
Because you have not been given that ability because you have not asked.
Oh,
or-
no, we have asked multiple times.
And they say because funding?
Oh, it's a pedestrian plaza, right? Is that the reason?
Part of the argument is that it is a pedestrian plaza and therefore legally no section of that plaza may be locked or closed. But I'm thinking honestly, there's 2 roads there and you can walk around the entire thing. It's not like you can't get through.
Just logistically, it's.
Yeah, and
close to
they
one
put
place.
in
What's the
gates.
purpose of the gate?
I have also asked that.
So if we want more clarity, we're clearly gonna need to invite DOT to come address this, so we can't, Rosa doesn't have.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
answers to
That should be a great next.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Rosa, what I might propose.
Yes.
If you have a request for something right now.
Yes.
It sounds like there's a possible resolution to get DOT support to allow the provisioning replacement of the bathroom, particularly given that someone else is funding it.
Yes.
And security, maybe security.
So do we want to put before the board? the motion?
You could write them to the resolution.
Sorry, go ahead.
Let's keep it
Richard.
separate.
So
We can,
on the bathrooms.
yes.
Before we get to a resolution, I'd like to understand better what DOT's objection is.
Money, right?
No. Oh, I think that the concern is that any enclosed spaces have the potential, especially historically bathrooms in the past in the city, have the potential of becoming a homeless encampment or a unsavory or unsafe location. And so there is a concern. I mean, even like, if you look at, Fulton Center, right, the bathrooms there have been locked for years now. They exist. They don't even have to pay anything to open them up, but they won't, and I think that that's part of their consideration. And I think that they might be concerned. I'm inferring here, nobody has told us anything other than no. But I'm guessing that they are concerned that we are able to keep it in a clean, safe manner.
Are you looking for one unit, and if you identify the specific location that?
Yes,
they
the
projected?
specific location would be what is the currently closed off asphalt parking lot, which is right at Park Row and Frankfurt Street. It is in the closest proximity we can get to the actual stairwell of the Brooklyn Bridge. And it also is a main pedestrian and bicycle thoroughfare. So I think that that makes sense as a location. And each trailer, we are imagining a minimum of 7 stalls in each trailer. We would probably have 3 stalls. Actually, so two would be, like 7 to 10 units each. And then we would have, or trailers, 2 trailers with 7 to 10 units each. And then we would also have a third one, which is ADA accessible, family friendly, yada, yada.
I wonder if it would be more effective as a resolution to have that very plan and let people look at it before we.
I was gonna propose, if
Yeah.
you maybe
Yeah.
present something next month.
I could show you right now if you want.
Let's.
No?
It's too
Okay,
much to do
okay,
tonight.
okay.
But if you can
Happy
send us
to.
something to look at, we can talk about it at that.
Okay.
And confirm a date when DOT is willing to come back to talk about the future. which
I
is
believe
honest.
DOT would only go to a transportation committee meeting. That's what they have historically done. So
Okay.
they wouldn't necessarily come to this one, but we could definitely ask them and have like a joint meeting, whatever.
And then the second notion of a possible resolution, and again, I greatly appreciate Teresa's comment about willingness to take anything forward that you propose.
Yeah.
Maybe scope out what kind of support you might see helpful from the Parks Department. And
Yeah.
again, perhaps we can put that in the form of a resolution that just might enhance
Yes.
what goes back.
Teresa, I might call you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like I said, I'm willing to ask the question. I don't know what the answer will be. There's always a chance they'll say, no, we've answered this question before, but I'm
Yeah.
always willing to take back things that from you.
Yeah, we
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Thank you.
There was a question, under Department of Transportation, I had two issues. One was the bathroom.
Yeah.
The other had to do with the arches. I wonder if there is something we might say about that or not.
I mean, the community board has been on record multiple times saying that we would like the interiors open. Now I'm putting my community board member hat on. But if we want to underline that and specifically call that out, I don't object to it.
I'm not sure if that's this committee necessarily. It might be. I don't know.
Yeah,
But let's explore that one further.
or at least there should be some sort of ongoing conversation with someone.
Apparently 20,000 people voted on that very same topic in the New York Times, just like this month. So,
It's a good whereas.
oh, that is a good whereas.
But it should be an ongoing discussion and to a resolution rather than, no.
Right, very good point.
I'll
I agree
speak to
100%.
Tammy about this. Again, maybe it's this committee. I'm not entirely certain, given
Yeah.
the full scope of the issue.
Yeah.
But thank you very, very much. Really, really insightful, really helpful, and just a huge kudos for what you've done. Sorry, two quick things before we wrap. And Teresa, I don't want to put you on the spot, but there was some news about the appointment of a new commissioner for parks.
Yes, that was the change I was mentioning. I said it's a big change, but not really, because Tricia Shimamura, our borough commissioner, is now slated to be our parks commissioner. So I'm extremely excited for what we have coming forward.
Is that effective as we speak?
Yes, the announcement was made. And she's
Okay.
in transition now, so yeah.
Great. And for the time being, no changes to the team that we interact with in terms of CB1.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Thank you very much. Anything else to add? Again, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, so I did have a couple of things to add. Manhattan Park, a 3.3 or $4 million project is now in procurement, which it's reached the end of design phase, and now it can go forward and take that next step, which could be up to a year in the procurement phase, and hopefully a year from now we'll start construction.
Which park? I'm sorry?
Manhattan.
Okay.
Where is that one?
The question is, where is that park?
It's downtown. It's on let me get you the streets.
Now that you mentioned, I think I walked past it and noticed it for the first, noticed Manhattan for the first time.
What would you do with Whitman?
Yeah, it's on Wall Street, so it's just off of South Street,
Yeah.
and
That's-
Front Street cuts it in half. So it's between Water and South Street on Wall Street.
And what's the scope of the project or the procurement project?
And then that procurement phase is to then do the design that
Okay.
repairs that part.
Got it. Eric?
Is
And
this,
it's online. I can drop it in the chat. I believe I can put
That'd be
a
great.
link
Is this-
to that design.
is this part project RFP or is it lowest qualified bidder?
No, it goes into procurement. It's bid. It's a project that gets bid.
Okay, thank you.
I can't drop anything in the chat. I'm sorry. I can email it to Tammy. Is that okay, Tammy?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Anything else?
Just that we're still in the registration phase for lifeguards to do their trials, and we're looking for lifeguards, and the pools we have right now don't have enough of them, and it's a great job. It's $22 an hour. It comes with training if you pass the qualifier. So it's a really good opportunity. Just wanted to get the word out there. It's still available.
What's the season for
Yeah,
lifeguards?
yeah, do you pay for the training or do they have to do they already have to have their certification?
No, the training is once they pass the qualifier stage, they get trained, and then they work with us, and they can get a bonus if they get past the summer. So it's a really great opportunity. I'm going to drop both of those into an email to Tammy now, both the registration for lifeguard and also the Manhattan Park link.
Got it. Eric, and then
A City Hall Park, I recall a few years ago, we passed a resolution, I guess, to try to keep it looking like gas lit lamps. And I'm wondering if that's any progress with that. And what started it was, I was in Queens and Casino Corridor. I was going past it, and they've got these lovely, lovely lamps. And I think they actually look like gas, a replica of what gas lamps should look like. So I'm just wondering if there's any progress for City Hall Park. And if there is, try using what they use at Casino Park Corridor. So.
Well, I'll go take a look at Kissing It. I know that they have a beautiful setup there. I think that actual gas lamps. I don't think it is. I think it's
No, it's electric. It's probably LED, the whiteness of the light, yeah.
Yeah.
Surmise that.
Yeah, we're looking into an LED kind of conversion that mimics that. We don't really have a way to do that yet. The electric and the modification to the lamps themselves, converting it from the fixtures to be able to accept that or a part of that. And so it would have to be designed, we'd have to get funding for it. It's a project, as much as, the pavements are a part of asking for a capital scope of work for there, and just upgrades for the fountain and all the lighting in the park potentially. So, there's a lot that the park needs. And so that's one of the asks.
And if I can just ask before we throw more questions at Therese. Therese, why don't you finish your summary, and then we can ask any questions that you might not address.
No, I did. That was my
Perfect.
summary.
Okay, thank you. Rosa?
Two things. One, if you have an Instagram post with a link for the lifeguards, that would be something that we could very, very easily put on, just repost on our Instagram page, which might be very sort of targeted to the age group that you're looking for.
Sure, yeah, I would love to.
So we on Gotham Park's Instagram, we are, Julie just joined us and she's going to help flesh all of that out. But we very often like to do public service sort of announcements. So Brian Kavanaugh and Grace Lee are doing a community thing. That's going on our Instagram, and then closer to the date, it'll go on again. So if you have the swim instructors or lifeguards, we can toss them on there. All of that stuff. It might be a little boring on a social media post, but we still post it anyways because we think it's important. And so there's that one. Then the second one is to actually piggyback onto Eric's comment on City Hall Park. And since April was here earlier, and I don't know if she still is, I walk through the East Plaza at City Hall Park constantly. That's and I, including tonight to get here. And those bluestone pavers are in such poor condition. They're cracked. They are trip hazards constantly, especially for the tourists who are not looking down like New Yorkers do, but they're looking up at, this building, for instance, because it's beautiful, and they're looking around and they're not watching, and the pavers sink in 1.5 inches because they're cracked and broken. And so where is that in its like capital plan or repair design? Like at what point does that actually get addressed? Because that, I believe, has been on our CB1 list of priority budget asks for a minimum of 4 years now. Like I'm five.
It's not funded yet. As much as we would like to see it funded, I don't have the estimate in front of me. It's not in any phase of design yet in any way because we need that funding.
So going back to when I was saying that DOT would not engage a project or even start the community stakeholder thing until they have a project fully funded, this is the same thing. They won't, so you guys won't even start designing it or even thinking about it until it has this full allocation
No,
to be able
we
to.
can get capital estimates, especially for improving the space as is, those things, we can get the estimates.
Would we
It's just
ever?
a design is a
Well,
part of
if
that.
it was just a pure maintenance and repair, just so that they're not a tripping hazard, is that something that we could advocate for at CB1?
That, as we find trip hazards, we repair them, and it's something that we flag through inspections, but it keeps happening because people drive on the plaza and they can sometimes unsettle these pavers and crack them with a heavy vehicle, or they just get unsettled with the freeze thaw season, and we're cleaning off the snow, so that also, we salt it, and it gets driven on by our brush and gets the salt inside, so it gets unsettled. So it's a constant process of repair because it's so deteriorated. So it's something we stay on top of with inspections.
Okay, please
Great.
send an inspector soon.
And any other questions for Therese? Great, thank you as always, appreciate your
Yeah, I'll
guidance.
send an inspector tomorrow. I was there today and checked it out. So if something happened tonight, please feel free to send me a photo and I can get on top of it.
I'll take a photo on my way home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The
Thank
second formal item that was on the agenda, BPCA could not join us this evening. Just a very quick update. This is related to the reconfiguration and repair of the field space in Battery Park. So sort of between between Murray and Warren.
Mhm.
It's a redesign of some of the facilities that are there, as well as a complete replacement of the foundation and the turf.
Mhm.
They brought a lot of equipment on, and I would say over the last 2 weeks, we really started to see a lot of progress. The turf is now, I think, completely up.
Yeah.
Weather has been somewhat cooperative. Again, this is dependent on the weather, and snow would make it obviously very, very difficult for them to make considerable progress. The target, which I have not heard has changed as of yet, but I'll seek to get an update, is to have the space reopened for use on March 2nd, which dovetails well with the spring Little League season, baseball and softball Little League season. So more to come on that, but they've made substantial progress over the last sort of week to 10 days.
Is this artificial turf or grass?
Turf.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been turf probably for close to 15 years now. This is, I think, the second time it's being replaced. First was after Superstorm Sandy. So that's it for the agenda. I don't know if anyone has anything else they'd like to bring up. If not, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Great. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you at full board.